Welcome back. Sounds like an ITV show, doesn't it? Not that I watch ITV. Anyway, it's hopefully you had a few minutes of a leg stretch there, and come back for something different. Again, something that can help you both here rally and also out into the big fleet. Let's see what our friendly neighborhood cat has to say. Are you in fact stressed? What stressed you before joining the Royal Navy? Well, many things people talk about at this point in a lesson. Very often it's to do with jobs, maybe family. Those of you who come straight from school, maybe to do with schoolwork and exams. So how did you then cope with what happened when you were stressed? Well, maybe you did something like go to the gym. Some people do. Maybe you self-medicated. In other words, turn to the bottle. Some people are going to have a fag. Some people talk to their friends and family. But stress is something we all experience. And we're going to have a look now at how we in the Navy experience it, what it does to us and for us, and how we can deal with it. So first job, how do you know when you're stressed? Me, I get the butterflies in the stomach. I remember when I used to have maths lessons at school, which is a long time ago now. And no, we didn't use abacuses, thank you very much. But we had maths lessons at school and I was never any good at maths. And each day that we had a maths lesson, I would wake up with this feeling in the pit of my stomach. And that's how I know that I'm stressed. Maybe you know your own bodies quite well, but how about that? As any of those look familiar? Feeling fearful, yeah. Sugar cravings, maybe overwhelmed, sleep problems, sensitive to noise. All those things can be symptoms, or at least the results of being stressed. I'm going to show you a short video now about the medical effects of being stressed.
Cramming for a test. Trying to get more done than you have time to do. Stress is a feeling we all experience when we are challenged or overwhelmed. But more than just an emotion, stress is a hardwired physical response that travels throughout your entire body. In the short term, stress can be advantageous, but when activated too often or too long, your primitive fight or flight stress response not only changes your brain, but also damages many of the other organs and cells throughout your body. Your adrenal gland releases the stress hormones cortisol, epinephrine, also known as adrenaline, and norepinephrine. As these hormones travel through your bloodstream, They easily reach your blood vessels and heart. Adrenaline causes your heart to beat faster and raises your blood pressure, over time causing hypertension. Cortisol can also cause the endothelium, or inner lining of blood vessels, to not function normally. Scientists now know that this is an early step in triggering the process of atherosclerosis, or cholesterol plaque buildup in your arteries. Together, these changes increase your chances of a heart attack or stroke. When your brain senses stress, it activates your autonomic nervous system. Through this network of nerve connections, your big brain communicates stress to your enteric or intestinal nervous system. Besides causing butterflies in your stomach, this brain-gut connection can disturb the natural rhythmic contractions that move food through your gut, leading to irritable bowel syndrome, and can increase your gut's sensitivity to acid, making you more likely to feel heartburn. Via the gut's nervous system, stress can also change the composition and function of your gut bacteria, which may affect your digestive and overall health. Speaking of digestion, does chronic stress affect your waistline? Well, yes. Cortisol can increase your appetite. It tells your body to replenish your energy stores with energy-dense foods and carbs, causing you to crave comfort foods. High levels of cortisol can also cause you to put on those extra calories as visceral or deep belly fat. This type of fat doesn't just make it harder to button your pants. It is an organ that actively releases hormones and immune system chemicals called cytokines that can increase your risk of developing chronic diseases such as heart disease and insulin resistance. Meanwhile, stress hormones affect immune cells in a variety of ways. Initially, they help prepare to fight invaders and heal after injury, but chronic stress can dampen the function of some immune cells, make you more susceptible to infections, and slow the rate you heal. Want to live a long life? You may have to curb your chronic stress. That's because it has even been associated with shortened telomeres, the shoelace tip ends of chromosomes that measure a cell's age. Telomeres cap chromosomes to allow DNA to get copied every time a cell divides without damaging the cell's genetic code, and they shorten with each cell division. When telomeres become too short, a cell can no longer divide, and it dies. As if all that weren't enough, chronic stress has even more ways it can sabotage your health, including acne, hair loss, sexual dysfunction, headaches, muscle tension, difficulty concentrating, fatigue, and irritability. So, what does all this mean for you? Your life will always be filled with stressful situations, but what matters to your brain and entire body is how you respond to that stress. If you can view those situations as challenges you can control and master, rather than as threats that are insurmountable, you will perform better in the short run and stay healthy in the long run.
So, what about a definition of stress? Incidentally, yes, that's stress. Well, stress, according to the Institute of Naval Medicine, is a reaction people have to excessive pressures or other types of demand placed upon them. It arises when they cannot or believe they cannot cope with them. Now, I actually think that's quite fair. I don't know about you. So, what stresses you at the moment at Rally? Well, when this is a live lesson, people start off by saying kit, the ironing, the polishing shoes, and then might say IMF or being away from home. There's lots of things that stress you here. Let you into a secret. We're deliberately stressing you. Why would we do that? It's not because we're horrible people. No, really, we're lovely people. We want you to succeed. But we are stressing you for two particular reasons that are very important to your training. First job, it's the Navy. Yes, it's the Navy. And when the Navy does what the Navy is for, it's going to be stressful, isn't it? It could be combat, that's stressful, or it could be humanitarian relief, or at the moment, many of our colleagues are out in the civilian world doing what's called MACA, military assistance to civilian authorities, and that's stressful. So when the Navy does what the Navy is for, it's going to be stressful, and so we need to have an understanding that you can cope and you need to get ready to be stressed. The other thing is that stress actually stretches the envelope of your capabilities. Let me give you an example. Maybe you've come here thinking you can do 25 press-ups. But when you're down the gym and you've got a PTI behind you, giving it some, then you can do 35, can't you? Stress is stretching the envelope a bit, getting you beyond where you believed you could be. And that's true in all the things you're going to do here at Rally, but particularly with your physical development. It's not just about how many times you go to the gym. So let's have a think about other things. How do we get to deal with stress? Well, when you leave here, it's still going to be stressful. Question is, what would you anticipate out in the naval career? Obviously, we can't do question and answer at the moment, but there are very many things that may very well stress you. There's going to be things such as being away from home. That is actually quite stressful. I love being at sea, but I hate being away from my family. And I'm always worried that stuff's going on at home that maybe they're struggling with. Maybe you'll still have money worries. Maybe you'll be thinking about your next promotion. You'll always be on another course. There's always going to be the next thing to do. The next deployment, and that could very well be very stressful. So have a look at how we might cope with that. Well, first job, talk. Talk, talk. Let someone else know. They do say a burden shared is a burden halved. It is actually true. Guys, the girls are so much better at this than we are. No, really, properly. The calculation has been done, not by me, that a woman uses 4 times as many words in a day as a man. Now, we blokes think they're talking about unimportant stuff, nails, makeup, shopping, that sort of stuff. It might be unimportant to us, but what they are doing is they're making relationships that could save their lives. What is the biggest form of young men death in this country at the moment? Young male death at this moment. It's suicide. Why do young men die? It's because they don't talk. So talk to someone. Cut down on your drinks and tabs. You might think a pint or two is all right, but if you're beginning to rely on your drinks and tabs, it's not doing your stress any good. Eat properly. Now, okay, here is quite easy. Maybe, but what it really means is not too many takeaways. Not too many takeaways. They're full of all sorts of stuff. Don't do any good. Keep things in perspective. You are here now for less than 10 more weeks. Imagine if something's stressing you out now, in 12 weeks' time, is it going to matter? Possibly not. So keep things in perspective. Hollow laugh number 1, relax. Remember, this is the list the Navy have given us for being out in the big Navy as well. Do take time to go and do something different. Get the brain to rewire, relax, accept someone else's support, guys in particular. And especially those of us, of course, wearing uniform. We're the worst for this. In the military now, don't need anyone else's support. We're hard. It's rubbish. Do accept someone else's support. Plenty of sport and fizz. Use the endorphins to get rid of that adrenaline. Social life. That's going to be your hollow laugh number 2. Obviously, at the moment, not much of that. But when you're out in the big Navy, remember to go out with your buds, your oppos. Really do. Especially those of you at Faz Lane when you're locked away in your single living accommodation cabins. Get out. Take it from the chaplain. Go to the bar. Really and truly. Don't do what I did for 9 years. You do your work during the day, secure at 4 o'clock, bit of fizz, possibly, bit of scran, and then sit in your cabin looking at the world through your laptop screen. It doesn't do you any good. Get out and do stuff. Humor. We are proud of military banter, but of all the professions in the country, who do you think has got the best banter, the best humour? Well, it's not even the military. It's certainly not comedians. It's undertakers. Oh, my heavens. When they're out on the town, you watch out. And just think about what their job is. They're looking at dead people all day and they're dealing with grieving relatives. How much more stress do you want? And when they go out and let their hair down, they use their humour to get rid of their stress. Seek help. Really, truly, guys in particular, don't keep it to yourself. So, in the Navy, what resources are available to help you deal with your stress? Right, well, if you're paying attention in the first part of the lesson, ta-da! This is what we do. This is what we do. If something is stressing you out in the big Navy or here in training or something from home, take it to a chaplain. We're always here to help you. Your divisional system, not just here to hand out warnings. You will always be part of a division wherever you are in the Navy. Now, your divisional system is set up to care for you. It helps with your career planning. It helps with your leave planning if necessary, that sort of thing. Use your divisional system, speak to your divisional officer, and it will help you through your time in the Navy. The medical staff obviously are there to help you, and there are various phone lines such as combat stress. One of the things we don't have time now to get onto, and it does involve a long film which I can't show in this particular format, is how you view stress is something that helps you deal with it. We do have an understanding that stress is something that we should worry about. It's the enemy. It is something that actually we want to get rid of. But actually, as I said before, stress can help you push the envelope, perform a bit better. And if you regard stress as your fight or flight response, you understand that your body's getting ready to do something that is actually going to be quite difficult, but is now prepared to do it. And if you understand stress like that, you won't suffer so much of the damage from stress. In fact, it can be very healthy to be stressed, but understand your stress and let your stress help you through difficult times. I would at this point then ask for questions. We don't have the opportunity now, but if you want to talk about stress, how we can help with stress, or put you in touch with people who can help you cope with stress, then do get in touch with a chaplaincy. And hand back to your own divisional staff now, and hopefully then you won't be too stressed.